Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spideydude Experience. I'm Zach Joyner, your friendly neighborhood host and webmaster of the program, webmaster of Spidey-Dude.com and the Spideydude Radio Network executive producer. Hello and welcome. Thanks for catching up with us. Sorry we're running a little behind tonight. I want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Waylon wants to also thank everybody for Patreon. We got Allison Farquhar, Cindy, Ed, Georgia, Greg, Janelle, Jessica, Catherine, Kale, Keegar, Laura Howard, Master Drummond, Phoenician, Scott, Vanessa, and Vicky. And of course, we got our VIPs, Scott, Sebastian, Winnipeg, Vigman, and Winnipeg Webhead. Thank you guys for your support. God damn it, Waylon, shut up. Oh, fuck, I didn't mute myself. Anyway, check out our other great shows here on the Spideydude Radio Network, such as Clone Saga Chronicles, the spectacular radio part of our Vault series, Season 1 of Amazing Spider-Man Classics. Season 2 with Jack and Ivy Trillo talking Spider-Man from the beginning. We got Sabi Sema Era Podcast. Just had a new episode that dropped this week, completing the Captain Universe saga. Voices from the Eyrie is going to have a new episode that drops on Friday. So if you have not checked it out, the video version will be up on patreon.com/Spideydude Network. The audio edition will be available on your favorite podcasting catchers. And if you're on Patreon, be sure to check out Books of X. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you guys here in the little bit. Check out Books of X. A lot of X-Men related stuff that's been happening lately. So we will talk about it here momentarily. Before we get started, though, thank you guys for being a part of it. I've got me and I've got Ken, aka Neil, and we also have Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hey.
So I know
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be on because I'm about to pop a melatonin and go to bed.
Get out.
Get out!
Get out of here, Ken. Get out of here, Ken.
Hang on. I'm Knuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. I've not seen the film. So anyway, hello to the people that are joining us live here on YouTube. If you're watching us or listening to us on the audio edition, welcome. We're going to be referencing some visual aids and or live comments. So as we do that, pay that no mind. Be sure to leave us that 5-star review and let us know how we're doing by leaving us an email at SpideyDudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. You'll notice in my background that there is not much in my background right now because I have not finished unpacking. Somebody asked in the chat, I believe, how is school and moving going? The moving is done. The schooling is going okay. Just got to complete my assignment for the week here in the next couple of days. So, yeah. So, hello. Hello to Andrew. Hello to Tevia. We're going to be talking. Okay. So, I know today and the big 925 came out today. I understand. But because of the move and everything that was going on, we're going to talk about the previous 2 issues this episode. And then we're going to catch up with this week's issue in a couple of weeks. So, yes.
Is that you or me?
That is probably me. That's everybody in our group chat. About 15 minutes. So we're going to talk a little bit about SDCC. Because somebody was there. Now I'm going to try to do a bigger roundup, but
there.
with some other friends. I'm trying to get that put together, but I got to figure out the date. So we'll talk a little bit more about it as well. But we wanted to kind of touch it here in this episode since we had Adam here. Adam, tell us what your experience was like a little bit, and then while I'm pulling up or having Neil pull up some news topics.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Well, it was tiring but fun. I did another volunteer thing. Which went pretty well, all things considered. I had a day I had to do a line management shift that was just chaotic. They kind of didn't know where to put us, I think. They sent us over to Hall H, but they didn't really have a person, I think, to really give us over to. The floor, the exhibit hall, was decently crowded, probably more so than last year. all the studios basically pulled out because of the strikes. They still showed some things, like just little premiere things coming up, but there weren't a lot of big stars there. So I'm assuming that was good for the exhibit hall and the vendors, and all the artists. Saw some panels.
I did hear that this was a really good year for comics people.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people buying comics. I'll tell you that. People think that Comic-Con doesn't have any comics there anymore. I mean, they're basically wrong. All the big Hollywood stuff just gets all the promotion.
Dude,
because
the best thing that could have happened was Mile High moving out. Honestly. And I hate saying that, but once they left, it allowed a lot of the ma and pa shops to come back in and take over that space. I didn't buy comics from the big names. I always found like the little local bookstores when I was there that I bought comics from. So, and sometimes even them, they were massively overpriced. I distinctly remember the variant for Revelations Part 1, Spectacular 240. Yeah. The one with Pregnant Mary Jane, the only time there was a Pregnant Mary Jane on any cover. And they wanted $75 for it.
Jesus. I'm pretty sure I saw that at a booth for like probably $5.
Yeah. I ended up paying like $5 for it.
I've gotten, I have a copy of that. I think that I got I think I do. I don't know, but regardless, I've gotten it it's not worth that much. I've gotten it for like, pennies compared to that.
Yeah.
If I have it, I don't even know. I have to check.
I have, I did the same. It was the same thing with the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Classic Scarlet Spider, the Toy Biz one.
I have that. I think the one that came with the comic in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that.
So they wanted $100 at San Diego, and I got it for $35 on eBay. So felt like we did good there. So again, sorry for being somebody. Tavia goes, you guys are finally alive. Dude, this was chaos. I was helping. My daughter is going on a trip tomorrow. She starts school next week, so I was helping ex-wife and her husband do a couple of things, and we got to talking, and then I looked down and it was 9:00. So that's not we'll talk about that in a minute. Obviously that does relate to today's issue, and we can talk about it because obviously that was announced prior to some of the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Like there was some figure announcements. The one that I would probably highlight the most is the Smythe and Peter Parker.
Oh yeah.
Look at that rod. Look at that rod and miss the side swipe. Let's go, baby.
There was also a bunch of Transformers announcements as well. So if you have not picked up the
bunch of Star Wars stuff, Jesus Christ!
Oh, dude, there's so much Star Wars. They got so Blade. They did announce a full wave. So Blade, there are a couple of full waves. So this is the Marvel Knights wave, which has Blade, which is kind of Wesley Snipes Blade. Clea also was announced in that wave. Scroll down a little bit. We had the Fist Ninja, which is somewhat similar to
for all you army builders out there.
Yeah, but it's this was one that I don't understand why they didn't just not include a Build-A-Figure piece. That was weird to me. Gamerverse Iron Man from the Midnight Suns game.
Or is that Midnight Suns or is it Avengers?
Yeah, it's Midnight Suns. There's no more Avengers figures. They finally got through them all. Classic Power Man Luke Cage, which is awesome. Lady Bullseye, and then Daredevil from the Zdarsky run, which kind of goes hand in hand with the Elektra that is out right now. So if you picked her up, this one will go with it as well. So you can complete that kind of sort of 2-pack. So that was all, and then the X-Men 97 wave was fully announced. So
that's just Transformer shit.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on that page, but yeah, X-Men 97. I think what they did was once they got off, once they've been pre-ordered, like the waves have been fully announced, because they just also announced a Disney Plus wave. The only thing Spidey related in the Disney Plus wave that you might be interested in is a Wilson Fisk. From I think Echo is what it's based on. We'll see. Kind of looks a little like that. So, SDCC is really cool. I can tell you from my experience, I had a really great time. But so you got to see some panels. What panels did you get to see? Did you see anybody that we know?
I saw. Let's see. What did I see? I saw the JMS panel. That was good. He talked about the Cap book a bit, and then there was a running joke throughout the panel during the question portion because he explained his whole Captain America book, what it's going to be about, and then like a couple questions in, someone asked about the Captain America book, and he's like, "Well, I already said what it was," and he was like, and the guy was like, "Oh," and then so a bunch of people they would start. Well, not a bunch of people, like a couple other people, like started their questions with like, "Oh, I just want to know about your Captain America book," but before they, did their actual question.
Yeah.
He talked about Spidey a bit because there were some Spidey questions.
Apparently, he appears in issue 2, right?
Yeah, he's going to be teaming up with Cap's going to be teaming up with Spidey in issue 2.
Yeah.
That's a definite pickup for me.
Yeah, the Captain. It sounds good. He's going into like Steve's childhood, I guess, like after his parents died and what he was doing during that, and like the whole like American Bun thing happening during pre-World War II before the U.S. got involved and all that stuff. It sounds pretty interesting. I did see a panel. It was like the highs and lows of making comics or something, and it had Quesada and Romita Jr. and Amy Chu and Ben Temple-Smith, and they were talking just about creating comics. And someone asked about like, oh, how do you feel about like healthcare and mental health and all that? And Romita Jr. was just kind of like, mental health, and kind of chuckled, like. And Quesada had some kind of answer about how he just is in charge of that and all that kind of thing. The guy was like wondering if it was like getting better, I guess, or like if it's terrible.
It's like an industry, or it's like an industry problem, or.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the gist of it. I saw the cover story panel, which also had Quesada, and it had Becky Cloonan and Todd McFarlane, and I don't watch a lot of Todd McFarlane interviews, but he's such a character, man. He's so passionate about the art. It's commendable. Good. Yeah. Just that panel is just like them talking about cover art they've done over the years, and Mark Evanier hosts it, and he just posts like random covers.
Is Becky Cloonan a artist? I thought she was a writer.
Is it Becky Cloonan? Maybe I'm misremembering who it was, but I think it was her. No, maybe it wasn't Becky. No, wait. Oh yeah, it was. Doesn't she do art? Because I think she did the cover art for yeah, she does art. I think she did the cover art for the book this year. The Souvenir Comic-Con book.
Oh, I guess she did. I guess I'm thinking of did she write for? Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to figure out because I remember her writing something. I just remember her. Or was it Michael Conn? I don't know. Sorry, I'm taking up too much time.
It's all right.
Sorry.
What else did I see? I saw a Quick Draw. If you ever go to San Diego Comic-Con, you should see the Quick Draw panel. It's who was it? Well, it was Mark Evanier hosts it. Scott Shaw's on it. Floyd Norman was on it. Another guy, Mad Magazine veteran artist guy, was on it, and they basically yell out prompts for them to draw, and chaos ensues essentially. And yeah, overall, I'd say it was a good year. Tiring but fun. Busier, I think, this time than last time, and it was pretty busy last year.
Last year was was the first con was the first San Diego to the pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
So
and
I
everything.
imagine that was them kind of getting their bearings back and trying to figure out where to go from there. So
Well,
and last year was good. This year definitely I'd say like, we're back, we're so back, because like it was chaotic. Like I said, it was interesting because I've heard two different things. Like I heard some people say like, oh, everyone seemed pretty chill and easygoing, but then I heard some people say like, oh, like it seemed like there was kind of like a tension and anxiety throughout the whole thing. So
I know the Paramount booth was in a weird place because I think that was the only studio that chose to or the only distributor that chose to attend during the strike.
Was there a Marvel booth?
yeah, there was a Marvel booth. There was a Marvel booth this year. There was a Marvel booth last year. There wasn't a DC booth last year, which I forgot about, but there was one this year.
Well, to me,
that was where I met Philip Kennedy Johnson, right outside the DC booth. I just saw him. I was like, oh, hey.
Did you see any of did you see Don and Josh or anything?
Yeah, I saw them briefly on preview night, I think.
So they were doing a lot of stuff for Popverse. Hopefully, we'll talk a little bit more about them. But I think the big main event thing that we should talk about is.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Before we get Paul on, because Paul's going to be on here in just a minute. They finally announced the limited edition PS5 Spider-Man 2. There was a big trailer. Spider-Man 2 showed up and showed out at Hall H. Was it packed? I'm assuming it was packed.
Yeah. Okay. So I was in the room for 10 minutes because I wanted to try to get to that, but like I said, my volunteer shift ended up being during that time. But I ended up doing line management, and they sent us over to Hall H. They're like, oh, what do we do with these people? So there was a point where they're trying to like find us a place to go. They let us in because I think they thought we were like some other people. Oh. And so I was in the room for like 10 seconds, probably like less than 30 seconds. And I mean, I didn't really notice how full it was. I'm assuming it was pretty packed. When I went outside to work, to, quote unquote, work the line, which they still didn't really have much for us to do, there was a line for it, but essentially I think they let everyone in. The line did, I think, go across the street, but it ended up, they ended up getting everybody to go in. So
I mean, that to me would have been the panel that I would have been like,
yeah, I
would have camped out for that one.
Yeah,
because
that's definitely probably the biggest panel that which actually had people show up, people involved showing up for it.
Do you like video games?
I'm excited for it. The pre-order for the bundle is available now, and I'm surprised that I see it's still available. So you can get. They also have the other announcement that they made. Not only was that, but they also made the announcement that if you already have an existing PS5, you can buy the side plates. You can also buy the exclusive controller. Don't go online and try to buy it off eBay because they're going to gouge you, because that's what they do. Everything looks great. I love the side plates. I love the way the aesthetic of that red with that mostly black. I'll say this. It's cool to see them giving you that customization on the PlayStation. You just don't get that on the Xbox right now. So that's definitely
because the Xbox is a literal box. You can't really take the plating off.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it gives you that ability to have that customization. Although D-Brand and Sony got into a pissing contest, because D-Brand was the first one to come out with side plates that were compatible. And they called them dark plates, and they were just black. All they were just black plates that were, made basically from the PS. They did their designs and stuff like that. Well, Sony got mad, filed a lawsuit, so they had to pull all the ones that they had made, make a slight alteration. Basically, instead of it having the finning, like the flaring out, they made it to where it like kind of runs perpendicular with the console, so it's more rounded or whatever. And on the inside, they put like all the terms and conditions of their settlement on the inside. because D-Brand going to be petty. So I just love I love the pettiness of that story. So
attention shopper, Sony's a bitch.
Yeah. So
damn.
If you have not already pre-ordered, you can also go to Best Buy and GameStop and pre-order these. They are $5.99.
Imagine going to a GameStop.
People do it, dude. People do it.
They do.
I actually, dude.
Sometimes.
There's one that's like right down. It's like in the same kind of little section of my Target that's nearby. And I actually went in there. I saw they had the Mr. Negative and the Henchman 2-pack, and I just haven't had a chance to go and procure that. So Javi says no disc, but no purchase for him. He wants the physical disc, even though it's going to download the game onto your console, but
still nice to have.
He did.
The recent swarm of tax write-offs, I think, has justified Javi's opinion of.
You never know what they're gonna take off. Even,
that's
the game stores.
Like
all those Activision Spidey games, you can't get those through any store.
That's true.
And to bring it to Transformers again, one of the main points of contention in the Transformers community is that because Hasbro's license with Activision expired, you can't buy the Cybertron games, War for and Fall of Cybertron, through legal means anymore. There is hope that they are planning on re-releasing it for Xbox now that Activision has the license or owns Activision. But that remains to be seen. Anyways,
well, it's one of those things where it's just like if you bought online like the Tiger Woods games, the PGA games that they had, you didn't have the physical disc, you can't do anything about it. Same thing with like NCAA football. So I get it. If you don't have the physical discs, I get it. My thing is with this specific game is because it is Insomniac and it is owned by Sony, the chances of them removing it are very slim.
I wouldn't take that chance.
But I understand people wanting to get a physical copy and physical media. People like Vinkman. So, he's all about the physical media, and looking at what the streaming companies have done lately, I don't blame you. And yes, Vinkman, it's still a thing. Thanks to all the nerds that decided on Wall Street Bets to prop that son of a gun up. GameStop will never die. It'll be a zombie. It's fine. But yeah. So, okay. Let me text Paul because I said
one more thing. If you want to see the figures that Zach was talking about live and in the flesh, or pictures of that, like I dumped a ton of photos in our Discord. So you go in our Discord, you can see all the figures that are in the process of coming out, that just came out in a glass case.
my
boxes.
My boy Adam went to the Hasbro booth and did me a solid. Because the cool thing about the Hasbro booth, because that's not all they announced. They announced the Marvel Knights Wave. They did announce they've completed the Squadron Supreme team in I think record time.
Oh, yeah, didn't they have to re-release Dr. Spectrum?
So they did re-release Dr. Spectrum, but they did 2 Squadron Supreme 2-packs, and then they announced the girl. I can't remember her name.
Princess Zarda.
Yeah. So
why do I know this?
Oh, is that the one who looks like Wonder Woman? Because I got a picture of that one.
The obvious Wonder Woman prestige.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't obvious enough, but yes.
Basically, it's Wonder Woman in a black.
Ed McGuinness made her more like Wonder Woman in Aaron's Avengers run. Speaking of Ed McGuinness.
So I'll also say this too. If you are a fan of the New Warriors, they've almost got the whole team now out and about, because they did Speedball, they did Night Thrasher, they did Rage, they did Nova, finally a classic Nova, Richard Rider Nova, and Firestar. But they also announced at San Diego Justice, so he'll be finally coming out. So it's getting closer and closer to completing teams. A lot of people are kind of like, what's complete teams? I did really like the way, if I didn't already have all the Jim Lee X-Men, the way the X-Men 97 figures looked great. That Wolverine with the pinless arms looks awesome. but most of it's reuse. And if you already have those figures, it's not enough to justify buying those other ones. Bishop is one that I might pick up because I don't have a Bishop. So, other than that, we do need Namora. She's like, I think one of the only ones left on the New Warriors team. So, yeah. All that being said, if you have not picked up, if you have not pre-ordered your copy, we will definitely probably do some sort of review of Spider-Man 2 on PS5 when October rolls around. So my goal is to hopefully get my hands on a PS5. So so I can play the game because I'm excited.
I thought you had one already.
I do not have a PS5. I have a PS4. I played Miles Morales on PS4. I was going to wait until I got a PS5, and then I had signed up for PlayStation Plus, and I got the Miles Morales game for free. So I was like, well, it's free. Might as well get it. And played through it. And it took like 3 days. So, yeah. And I finished also the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which is a criminally underrated game. I think it got kind of wrapped up in that whole Avengers nonsense, but Guardians was a lot of fun. I really liked that game. So if you have not played
Guardians was made by a cousin studio, wasn't it?
I think so.
Of Crystal Dynamics.
I think so. They did a good job. Especially look, if you like the MCU Guardians, you'll like that game because it's very much in that same vein. Okay. So moving on, we're going to talk about the issues of Amazing Spider-Man. We are completing the first arc post death of the post year one. So we're completing the first arc of volume 2 of Wells, year 2 of Wells. So I'm going to do a brief recap. Hopefully we'll get. I'm going to text Paul and be like, "Get your ass on here. We're talking comics." Hopefully y'all didn't hear that freaking road noise.
I thought that was like a ship in a harbor going.
No, that was a freaking.
Is that a big Rick? Jesus Christ.
No, I think it was a motorcycle.
No.
So, what are you doing, Daisy? Looks like she's about to mount Waylon. No, Waylon, I didn't ask for you. Thank you, sir. You're fine. He thinks he can stare at me and stare a hole at me, and I'm just going to drop everything I'm doing on a live program and take him OUTSIDE. Anyway, so okay, we might as well cover the Rain news while we're waiting on. So Rain, there's a sequel to Rain. Spider-Man Reign's getting a sequel as teased in the end of this issue that came out today. You'll hear my full thoughts in 2 weeks when we do the next episode. But horrendously bad artwork that I just don't care. Like the only thing I can think of in regards to Rain, the only reason that they were doing it is because Kari Andrews was already working in the Spider office.
Spider redacted, radioactive Spider redacted.
And so that's the only thing I can think of. Hello, Joey. Hi, Doggos, to Vinkman, and then Chris Dedmond, host of the Salvi Samara podcast. So, okay. So, yeah, I mean, Spider-Man Reign, number 2, Electric Buckaloo, because you demanded it. Let's just say, I will say this. The one thing I'll say about today's issue is there was a lot to today's issue. The amount of crap that they packed into this issue. It was 80. It
was $10 worth of content. So
yeah, it was 84 pages. I think
80 pages plus, not including ads. I think
it was 100 pages including ads.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was 100 pages including ads because it was 80, including the stupid, part 1, part 2. The letter from
they did that.
Yeah. No, they did
do
that.
like a big thing that's like, oh, part 1, like,
So-
and then
So
the
like what they
creative
what they
team-
did what they did in Spencer's run for
It's 825, right? Or was it 850?
It was eight. It was.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
850. Yeah.
It was probably 850. Yeah.
Okay, yes, Eric, I understand what you're saying, but technically that's what happened. Okay. I'll be honest. Was it worth $10? I mean, you got your money's worth. There was a lot of content for what you got. There's one specific story that I'm going to probably dog on, and I feel bad for the person that had to write it, that got assigned to write it, because I feel like she was put in an impossible situation.
It was Celeste something, right?
Yes, poor Celeste. She did a. But that, I mean,
she did the backup in the annuals, and we'll talk about that as well next week because that came after this story. So.
Yes, there's a Spider-Man annual, and then there's Amazing Spider-Man annual that came out.
Did Contest of Chaos annual come out today?
I don't know. The Spider-Man annual, Adjective of Spider-Man annual, comes out next week.
Paul, real quick, you're a comics guy. Did the Contest of Chaos annual come out today? Oh, okay.
No introduction.
Hello, everybody.
What's the F?
That was your intro.
Listen, I was
Neil.
wig.
Does this like stupid annual come out today? Oh, hey, Paul.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Paul, the host of the Comic Binge YouTube channel, where you can find all sorts of things comic related, including a review of the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
That sounds accurate.
You're welcome.
Can we call the listeners or watchers or viewers, I should say? I like watchers better because it's like that guy from the comic books.
Yeah, who watches the watchers?
I know what that thing is, and I clapped.
And I'm wondering, can we call our fellow like viewers web warriors? Is that already taken?
Well, technically, Marvel has the copyright.
No, I'm not talking about Marvel. Give a crap about them. I'm talking about like for us, like other people. Like they use that yet?
Like how Brad calls everybody webheads, like we call them.
Yeah. Screw that. Let's do web warriors, baby.
Yeah.
We're from the streets, yo. We're warriors, man.
Probably like the
we don't mess around.
Clawed and scraped.
It's the Crips and we're the Bloods.
They could be the web heads. They could be cobwebs. We're warriors, yo.
You could call another prominent Spider-Man show the Cobwebs, but we're not going to because we're not.
Jeez.
Whoa, is that shade? I'm just joking with the other people, but I'm serious about calling ourselves.
I'm not throwing any shade to anybody. I'm merely pointing out an observation.
We should call ourselves Web Boys.
Yeah.
There are certain individuals whom I will not name.
Web warriors. See, that's our. I'm got it.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments what you think about what we tell you.
He's making it happen.
Wait, so you guys have been talking for a half hour and you haven't talked about anything comic related.
Well, we talked about Comic-Con.
Yeah. I talked about how
we talked about Marvel Legends and we talked about video games.
We talked about
how.
Are you okay? You own a PS5, Paul.
I do.
Have you pre-ordered the game yet?
Why?
That way you can have it when it launches. Like that way, it's like waiting for you whenever
I'll buy it day before, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, because like for Spider-Man, I'm just gonna buy it digitally. That's the one game because Star Wars I buy everything physically for my canon shelf, but for like Marvel and that stuff, I mean, I have much.
So you're the anti-hobby right now, because
dude, don't hold on. I love me some physical media. Don't even get me started here, yo. Like, I'm just saying for these Spider-Man games, I bought them both. Well, I have Miles physically, which I still need to play. God, I'm so behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Web Warriors.
Are you picking?
All think?
So question 2: are you going to pick up the side plates and or the controller?
Aren't they already sold out?
I saw that
the bundle. I think
the bundle is not. I haven't looked at the side panels. Hang on,
dude. The side panels, they should like. I think my boy Chris, he said that that they already sold out. He went to go buy them too. And I gotta tell you, if they were smart, they would just keep them in stock because people will be, Spider-Man ain't ever gonna go out of style, homie. Like it's just what it is.
Well, what
So-
I anticipate is that there's going to like Walmart's and like they're going to get a huge shipment on the ship day. Like what I anticipate is that they're just going to keep making these because I don't think they expected the amount of the volume that they were getting on these things.
Which is hilarious because they made the most sold single player game ever made, and then we're like, OMG, why is it selling so good? We made a good game by accident.
So okay.
Well, and you know, I will be probably buying those eventually. So yes, I think that's a great. I think that's a great idea that they did that for the PS5, like the whole plate idea. Like you can kind of customize it. That's a genius idea.
So the controller is available for pre-order.
Yeah.
The side plates are currently unavailable for pre-order right now.
Yeah,
But the bundle is available and the controller. So if you want the control, I personally I would like because I usually try to get 2 controllers just for me because I usually just like.
Holy shit, Venkman just shot you down so hard. It's the name of that god awful book that had Mayday making those sandwiches for 4 hours. Why would I want to be associated with that?
Okay, Venkman, we'll talk about it.
Jeez,
Simmer
Venkman.
down. Simmer
Not
down.
everyone feels the same way you do, my friend. I love you.
Listen, that was a bullshit move that they pulled in that book. But despite that,
I'll be honest. I don't remember a lot from that book. I just like calling ourselves a web warriors.
Average
so-
Mike.
I think us appropriating the name,
Yeah.
like
Why'd you take a whole
Reclaiming
Figment?
it.
Respect.
Figment. Yeah, reclaim it, dude.
We're
Stop
reclaiming the name.
Yeah, don't
reclaim
be.
reclaim
Reclaim the
slur.
throne, homie. Don't be fighting, being like, no, we can't use it. Like, no, take it back. We're taking it back. We're taking them all back.
Reclaim the
You know?
slur.
let's
The
see if
slur.
what the slur.
What are we on a different podcast? Am I on? Did I go on like
We
Fox
show
News
up-
or something like that? So what are we doing here? What are we
The
doing
body
here?
politic.
Oh
Yeah, hold on a second. All Neil's missing
my
right now
old
is a bow
friend.
tie. Get a bow tie on, Neil, and be like, okay, guys, we got the
He's no
stuff.
All right, boys.
You realize he's not at Fox anymore, right? He got fired.
Yeah, he's at a failing Twitter show.
Dude, I
Anyways.
know that. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. Yeah. I just want people to understand like he did.
Web Warriors. Let's bring it back.
bring
bring it back.
I can't even find the side plates on Amazon right now. So
Because people don't want because Sony doesn't want to want money. So that's
Sony-
fine. I'll wait.
Sony doesn't want to make money. That's fine.
it could be that I put in the wrong thing, but
All right, before we get to comics, I have something somewhat comic related and not just Marvel Legends related. So,
listen, Linda, are
yeah.
you not going to get the 2-pack? Because I have the Mary Jane and Green Goblin 2-pack right in my hands,
hold on.
Oh shit.
sir.
Sorry, that was unrelated.
Homie.
Homie,
You know.
I know.
I don't mess with the Marvel Legends as much as you do. You know this. But doesn't mean I don't partake in them either. Because I got the best Ben Reilly of all time right here. So I mean,
Yeah, let's go Baja
This is-
Blast.
let's do Baja
you-
Blast. Spider-Man
keep
is definitely the best characterization of Ben Reilly ever
Best.
to page, and I'm just glad that I finally own the version of the action figure plastic in my hands. So look how beautiful that looks. It looks beautiful. Look at that great characterization. It just embodies his inner personality the best way.
I see that Paul has gone to the Marvel editorial school of antagonizing the hand that feeds them.
Antagonist, okay, Nicole. Yeah, you got me.
Hold on.
You got Waylon
Nick-
barking right now.
For the record, I would not rile up anybody unless one, I loved you, or two, I effing hated your guts so much that I would you would know I hate your guts and I'd antagonize you on purpose. It's either one or the other, and you already know I already love you, so that is not a detriment. And as Zach disciplines his dog, so anyway,
Dude,
Web Warriors.
he is
I'm
not. He is
I'm
not.
inking- I'm
Somebody asked
inking-
me earlier how things are going, like living in an apartment, and this is where I miss having my backyard for my dogs because I know what it is. He needs to go out and go to the restroom.
Just take him out real quick. I already got some stuff I can talk about. I got your back.
So
Just blow me up. I got something to show. I got show and tell. I'm serious.
What other stuff you got show to tell?
Paul hasn't been on camera on the show.
Dude, I've been on
years.
camera in like 4 years. We've got the institution.
Yeah, you did your whole move. I didn't even think about that. Like, oh yeah. All right, show off for a minute. Stall.
Okay.
I'm doing.
Right.
I'm
Blow me
inking
up.
right now.
Blow me up. Blow me up.
Hang on, real quick. I want to show off.
Blow me
real
up. I get it. Blow me up. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So today I had a little cool mail call while Zach's taking his dogs out, and Zach, make sure you mute. That's a professional thing to do.
There you go. I muted him.
Oh, thank you. All right. So I'm not sure. I'm not super caught up. I'm Neil and Adam. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Tomorrow Publishing, if you guys are at all.
Yeah, I know him.
But I've gotten more and more into like their companion stuff. I love them. And I recently got really into like their back issue magazine. And I just haven't really partaked in it much. And this is, I think, this not the latest. The latest one's a Daredevil, but this is like a pretty recent one you can still get. And I had to make sure I get a physical copy of, which was the Spider-Man Rogues issue.
Oh,
and yeah, look, and this is apparently, I read the editorial. The only thing I've read from it is that
Art Adams?
No, it's hold on a second.
That cover just reminded that I've seen that cover before. Reminded me of Art
I've seen it
Adams.
before too.
It's from it was a, where is he at? Sorry, one second. It was made for 60th anniversary, and cover artist Dusty Abel.
Okay.
In 2021, he called it his Spider. He calls it, the artist calls it Spider-Man and His Amazing Foes, and it is a great piece. If you can,
I have seen this. Yeah,
it's a puzzle apparently too. So they wanted to wait to make sure.
That was my boy Boomerang in his classic.
He's
he's right there.
Yeah, he's right there in the front and center, right there. See? Okay. They've got some
Light
deep
Master
cuts.
there.
Dude, I do Light Master. There's guys in here. I can probably tell you.
Is Skip Prescott in there?
No,
There are,
it's not funny, but
all right. How about this? I can tell you about 90% of these people.
Sure.
Vakeman, if you're, I can't see the comments. So Neil, Adam, make sure. I want to see if Vakeman can get this. If you guys can't get, because there are a couple of people in here. I'm like, who is this? I don't know. Okay, one of them I know the tip of my tongue that I'm like I can't get. So first one, I have no idea what the hell this guy is. I'll try to get him up there. He's sorry. He is. God, I am so bad with the camera. That guy right there, the green guy.
That's Speed Demon. Oh,
wait.
wait.
No, not Speed Demon. The green guy. Sorry.
Right.
Oh,
He looks
sorry.
like a squid, kind of. He's got like tentacles.
Yeah, I can't figure it. Right, my hand, right there. See my hands out right there. That
I
green
think-
guy.
Wasn't he
Who
called
is
the squid?
Yeah, it's a squid.
He was like,
where's he from? I have never
that
seen him
was
before.
that was when they did the Volume 2 reboot.
Yeah,
Okay,
this,
so
his first appearance was in Peter Parker's Spider-Man #6 during
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Mackie run.
Okay, yeah, because I have never read the Mackie run before. I had checked out well before that. Okay, so that makes more sense. I didn't know that guy. Like I said, I know majority of all these people, but there's a couple. Okay, I know this guy, but it's kicking my butt that I don't know his name. It's guy after it's right behind what's his name? Whiplash, or whatever his name is. This yellow guy. What's his name again?
Professor Zoom.
Mirage.
Hang on.
Is it Mirage? Is that
Can
about
you
the yellow
put it
guy?
in
That's
closer?
Mirage, I
That's
think.
Mirage, yeah.
yeah? Is he's from like the 80s, right? Or 70s? 70s, 80s?
He was in the
70s.
Ween run. He's in the issue where
Oh.
Betty and Ned get married. He's in
That's
that
right.
issue.
That's right. Because he had henchmen, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, dude. I forgot the Ween run purposefully. Rest in peace, Ween. I like you, dude. But he's a good writer. I just did not like him in Spider-Man.
He was in Superior Foes.
Was he Superior? Dude, I haven't read Superior Foes in a long ass time.
He was
so it's
one of
been
the
a minute.
Sinister 16.
That's right, he was. Yeah, that's everyone else I pretty much know, which is a lot. Actually, there's a guy right behind the Foreigner in the purple. I don't know who that guy is.
Which one? Hang on.
Okay, hold on.
I think that is that Gibbon?
No, it's not Gibbon. I know the Gibbon. God dang it, I'm so bad with this camera thing. Hold Not the purple guy. That guy, the yellow guy right there.
Oh, that's a Schemer. He's in the like late Stan Lee run. He's Richard Fisk in a mask trying to
that's right. That's right. Right. I remember now. Because Richard Fisk was revealed in that issue. Was like Vanessa, and he's like, oh my god. That's right. He's only in like one issue.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like that issue, and then you probably don't see him again until all the Rose stuff in the 80s.
Oh, the Rose. God love the Rose. So anyway, this is a beautiful cover. I don't know what I did. I think I'm trying to show you guys. I bent my freaking cover, a-holes. I blame you. Anyway, okay.
How was I supposed to react to that, man? Come on.
Well, hold on. By the way, how the hell does this guy draw this freaking ring, freaking vibe, whatever his name is, the Clash
vibe?
Yeah, Clash vibe.
Oh, dang, yeah, Clash is there. Yeah.
How does he draw Clash in there?
That ain't no G.
He ain't no G. Caesar, your boy George's gonna love this. Look where he's appropriately put right next to the person right next to his same caliber. Stegron. Yep.
Take that back.
Yeah. Clash and Stegron are basically the same character as far as I'm concerned.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, for the record,
you ever think about how Clash just kind of Count Vertigo? No, not really.
No, well, Clash is.
He's got the sound-based powers that
dude,
cause this
I'm gonna say Clash is kind of tight. Like he's got a tight costume.
He does.
Stupid name.
He's cool, but
he looks
like
cool.
But in like the C-lister villain, the way they tried to shove him in as like the untold tale, like the super secret super secret villain in Spidey's beginning in Learning to Crawl was cringe.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a little rough.
That mini was bad.
Would you even call it a mini? It's technically a part of the ongoing.
I call it a mini because it's technically it's like the 0.1 issues.
I think it had its own trade too. Probably.
It was written by Slott too, wasn't it?
It was Slott and Ramon Perez on line.
The art is great. The art
is good.
Fantastic.
The art is good.
Ramon Perez continues to carry every book he's part of.
So this magazine has a bunch of like kind of really cool articles in it, and there's a really big one about Doc Ock, and it's mostly from like the Bronze Age up to the Bronze Age. So don't worry for you anti-superior Spider-Man people, it doesn't go that far. There's a great there's a cool like big article about look at these pencils by Byrne, these line art.
That's sick.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, nice.
It's rad. So this is really, dude, it's rad. Like this is some cool stuff, and it's got again, this is an older article that they repurposed, and there's also some new stuff in here. It's just really cool. I have not read it yet. Anything. It literally came today. But there's like a cool like Spider-Man like kind of like F-listers like kind of like kind of homage, kind of talking about all the really stupid villains he took on, like Gibbon and Mindworm and the Kangaroo. Kangaroo is definitely one of the worst ever. So I don't like putting my homie White Rabbit with this. White Rabbit's kind of she's kind of came back. I'm still waiting for the Walrus to come back. This is my favorite, which I don't think I'll ever read the Spider-Man Super Stories, but I may have to just based off this character alone.
Dude. Yeah, man, the wall.
Dude, the wall
he tries to go to a Mets game and the wall
Let's go Mets!
And there's a really cool Lizard article.
Does he go Billy in it? Does it go to Shed?
No. It's mostly like bronze and maybe some 90s stuff.
Exactly.
But no, this is like this really. I'm really impressed. I like it. I've seen back issues where they're not just they don't always look like I'm be super into them, but this is a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into this. I mean, speaking of that issue, look at this line art from Mermita.
Oh yeah.
Baby. So
pretty.
So yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's only like $18. It's a little pricey it's not the biggest thing in the world, but
And for anyone asking, if anyone's looking for it with no cover lettering, Venkman just posted it in the Discord in general. Thank you, Venkman. The cover of the issue you're holding.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. He posted it without the cover, or without the cover.
Without the
trade dress. The trade dress.
Yeah. No, it's I'm really excited. I got another one about DC in the 80s. So this is definitely worth picking up if you're a Spider-Man fan. So back issue number 145. Still bummed I got bent right here. Oh, so bumming right now. But
so if you have not joined our Discord, the link is down in the description, both of the audio edition and here live on YouTube as well. So I try to include that link, that invite link, so you can come join us on Discord. I did mention on Discord, speaking of, this is a good segue, I am trying to increase the bench here on the podcast. So we are looking to add don't me
you need to call upon the Web Warriors, dude. That's what you need to do. Don't be like, I need a bench. Be like, Web Warriors, mount up.
I need to summon real quick. I want to be like Zordon and summon the Web Warriors, to the command.
Dude, not like that. You'll be like Web Warriors, mount up. That's what you gotta do. Be like, this is a street game, dude. This isn't freaking Power Rangers.
I was joking with the Crips and Bloods thing. Jesus Christ!
If we're gonna be a street gang, I would rather be
this
more
Warriors 79. Not.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Adam knows exactly what I'm talking about.
We're clinking bottles. Can you dig it? We're trying to get back to Coney Island.
We should be Teamsters. Teamsters is great.
Don't be mean, Venkman. Be nice.
Venkman can try to be mean all he wants. I'll still love him no matter what.
Real quick, before my iPad dies, I want to do a bit of show and tell myself.
Good. I have to get Diet Coke anyway.
So for those of y'all who don't know me very well, I am an artist. I do line art, and I'm trying to. Yeah, it's French.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to edge into inking just as a side thing, and I've been using some of the Spider-Man legends as sample pieces. Right here, I have the cover for Ultimate Spider-Man number 33, going off of Bagley's line art. Eat shit, John Dell. For those of you who know who John Dell is.
Don't tell a man to eat shit. Like that's a little too far, buddy. I am going to do since we're doing a bunch of show and tell. I wanted to show you the cues.
And the one I'm working on right now, I'm going to finish tomorrow when my iPad's charged, is the cover for, I believe, Ultimate 125.
No, that's one. Yeah, maybe 125.
But it's a Stuart Immonen cover, and I wanted to do stuff that has a lot of black because my style kind of leans harder into just full blacks rather than cross hatching. So I thought that was cool.
So for those that are not watching us live on YouTube, I am panning over to where Daisy likes to hang out, which is right next. I have my futon that was in the office. It is now sitting right next to me, so that way Daisy can sit there and have her little spot like a cat.
Real quick, I'm going to plug my iPad in, grab a melatonin, and I'll be right back.
Okay. He's going to pass out live on air. Okay. So, like I say, thank you guys for being as supportive as you are. We've had a pretty consistent amount of viewers tonight, considering how late we started and how everything's gone. Also, if you are subscribed over on YouTube, we are pushing the episode to Make My Mayday that's scheduled for tomorrow to Friday. So we'll be covering the second half of Spider-Verse on Friday night. And then Saturday, I don't know if we're still on for our announcement. As Paul gets back to his computer, I will ask him live here on the air.
Hi. You can ask me now.
Are we still on for Saturday?
And we need to talk about that. It's either if it's cool, because our plans are kind of gotten weird this weekend. I was going to ask you first if I can move it to maybe to Sunday instead of Saturday. Still this weekend. Okay.
That's
Well, we'll talk. We'll talk. It's going to be this weekend. I told my wife that I have the show I want to do, but Saturday are some plans kind of fell through. So we might have, we want to do like a whole family day where I don't have to be back anywhere. But Sunday I have like a family thing I have to go to. So if we can do it around that, then we're like, I'm ready to F and go. I read my comics, the exception of She-Hulk. But I'll read that before. But I have a lot to say already about these 5 issues of Slot.
I gotta read these issues.
So let me get Neil back in here because we ought to probably. Hey Neil, will you throw that graphic up? He's snacking. I don't even know if he hears me.
Well, let's just.
We should go ahead and just make the announcement. The announcement part.
Do it. Yeah, do it. Yeah. Well, so I'll just do it if it's cool with you. So it was Zach's idea to do something for an idea because for those who don't know, I got to know Zach through the Spideydude the Spider-Man Crawl Space podcast, and no offense to those that site and that podcast, they are very not into the Dan Slott era of Spider-Man. And as I was listening to him over the years and other people on that show, I pretty much felt myself on the exact opposite end of where everyone thought those issues. And as I got to know Zach and become buddies and call him a good homie, Zach kind of talked about we should do like a Slot discussion retrospective. And because me and Zach are so opposite of our thoughts on the run, and we both would agree that it's been a long time since we've read the Dan Slott issues. And so it'd be cool.
10 years.
And I think Zach is in a different place in his life, and maybe he might go to a different spot, or he might think differently of the issues. Maybe he won't. And same for me. I'm at a different place in my life. Maybe I'll dislike them more or like them more. I have no idea. We have no idea. We know we knew how we felt back in the day, and they were so opposite. And me and Zach love to argue. You can't shut us up about anything. We can go on a million side tangents. We never met a side tangent we couldn't, didn't want to do.
That's very true.
But the cool thing is these are gonna be more concise. We want to make sure we had a mediator. So we have Adam here to kind of be that, and Neil, both kind of be there to kind of keep us in check. But it's going to be me and obviously Adam and Neil will have things to say too. But it'll be a thing for me and Zach to do together and kind of really emphasize, kind of see where our retrospective kind of thing for Dan Slott's run, and it'll be both shown on this and on the Comic Binge. It'll be kind of a joint thing. So the Binge and Spidey Experience will both be doing the show, promoting the show. And again, it'd be a fun thing. It's not really meant to be nasty. People want to come in nasty. That's you can do what you want. Me and Zach are gonna be nasty about it because we're homies, and I love
also not playing to win. there's no winner.
Listen. I mean, if you compare it to like a sports talk show, right, where there's a debate style format, I'm not going to be Stephen A. Smith, and he's not going to be Skip Bayless.
No, not at all.
It's going to be we're not trying to be antagonistic towards each other. We're going to sit there and we're going to talk about it. And I think that my perspective will be slightly different now that the run is over.
Yeah.
And I'm a little older. I'm a little wiser. I think that also changes my perspective a little bit. I have read the Human Torch mini so how we're going to do this is we're going to do the first episode. I think just stay subscribed when we get the date and time figured out, which I think we're going to probably just push to Sunday. So just be subscribed here to the channel. We'll let you know. This is something that we've been talking about doing for a long time.
Yeah, like probably 2 years at least, 2.5 years.
I was working at a Staples when we first discussed working on it.
Yeah, we started the show and we kept doing the show and we were all getting our groove on, and we started thinking, hey, we should do this because People probably want it.
It's gonna be Shannon Sharp. Listen, I hope to be making the money that Shannon Sharp does one day, but not right now.
Also, real quick,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be moderating. That's solely Adam. I will be doing producer stuff. If someone
Yes.
has like exhibits they want to put up as testimony,
Yes,
I will be doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
look,
I will have things to say, but Adam will be the one kind of keeping the tempo going because Adam's a good tempo guy. He's got to
Try my best.
pacing.
I got
Sounds great. I trust Adam.
I got two immovable objects here to keep it bay.
Wait, who's the unstoppable force? Am I the unstoppable force?
Well, I guess one's an unstoppable force and one's an immovable object, or
I think
whatever it
Zach's
is.
an immovable object, and I think I'm the unstoppable force because
I
I'm-
think that's fair actually.
and I don't think one's not better than the other, obviously.
I'm just
So I
Ken.
mean, yeah, I think you're set in your ways, and I'm just a big ball of just craziness. So
By the
Yeah,
way,
it's true.
remind me, do the Cowboys and the Seahawks play this year? Paul?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't think so because I didn't think they were playing the West this year.
We play Thanksgiving, but we play the Niners here. So
That's right, because we're playing the Niners because that's the first place team that we're playing because we won.
yeah. I think we played last year. I think, didn't we?
Yes, we
So, yeah. So we're not playing this year. I do have fellow comic binger Chris Clow coming over soon to hang out with me. So I would love to get on these comics, and we're doing issues 29 and 30, right?
Yes.
Cool, because I got them. So I don't mean to push it out, but it's gonna be either Saturday or it's probably gonna be Sunday. But we'll talk obviously in our group chat thing. We'll in Spider, you know what. Just for all you all.
We have some group chats that we have for us.
So anyway, we'll hit it, but either way, it's gonna be on this weekend for sure. Like I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. So
With us pushing it back from Saturday, I will tell you, you can find me. I'm probably going to make a live call into the Spider-Man Crawl Space 25th anniversary live caller special. So if you want to see me going back to the old stomping grounds for just a little bit, I'll be over there. So
I just realized there's some water damage on my comic book. I'm pretty bummed.
Oh, well.
Pinkman,
I have no
They're
idea
not
where it
worth
went.
if you weren't
they're
such a
not
great-
worth anything.
don't be talking bad about my Cowboys, man. I know you're from Pittsburgh or from Philadelphia or wherever.
I just realized I was muted.
Oh, what'd you say?
I was saying the speculator value for the comic went from $3.99 to $2.99.
Good.
It's fair. It's fair. I don't care. I just was like, it's kind of I'm like, oh man.
Have you guys seen pocket socks? These things are banging. They're like socks with the
Anyway,
pocket in them.
I got to talk about these comics. Let's talk about
All right,
the
all right.
comics.
Yeah, the comics. Let's go.
Here's the brief recap. Spidey gets arms.
Yeah,
Otto
the end.
kidnaps Norman, tries to inject Norman with Goblin Serum, doesn't work.
No,
Spidey gets extra arms, so renewing the Octo Spidey trademark.
Mhm.
After Peter, after Jonah gives it to him, Peter, finangles it, and then really great image. In fact, that's going to be the cover image for the episode for the Apple podcast.
I already did the cover.
Yes, you did. We already did it. So
It's not that one. It's not the
That's a great. I love
it's in the next issue. It's in the next issue. But yeah, the artwork by Ed McGuinness. Zeb Wells is the writer. And so basically we go through. Otto thinks he's going to turn Norman back into being evil because he's trying to, at Otto's core, he's trying to get back the pieces of his mind that he lost. And he thinks if he defeats Norman, it's going to get him along that particular line of questioning and stuff like that. Craven does make an appearance. Craven 87 shows back up and is apparently assisting Otto a little bit here and there. It's going to set up the next arc that comes out starting with the next issue later on this month. So bit of foreshadowing there from Zeb Wells' run. So needless to say, the story ends with at certain points, Peter starts acting more like Otto because he has the arms attached to him. He starts calling him adult and stuff like that.
The die is cast.
The die is cast.
Oh,
Yes.
God,
I want to talk about that when we get to the
Wait,
commentary.
okay, and Zach, I just want to say this is the best, and I'm not even trying to be funny. This is the best recap you've ever done on the show.
We're speed running.
This is fantastic. Like, okay, this is perfect.
Well,
Like,
I do like. I mean,
We started
hitting
an
all
hour.
the-
We started an
hitting all the
hour
bullet
and 2
points.
minutes in, and we're already speed running 2 minutes to 2 issues.
No,
Okay,
this is what it
shit.
should be all the time. This is you did it that was literally perfect.
So at the end,
I like being funny.
yeah. So we have
Yeah.
Otto with his arms, and then the old arms with Spidey, and they're fighting back and forth. Again, not a ton happens. Eventually, Otto.
Not a ton happens.
Well, what I mean by that is like
It's a big fight.
It's one big fight
essentially.
scene.
it's like the two issues are pretty much a giant ass fight scene, and so
In
we
two
get-
parts.
in the two parts, and so
There's like a timeout in between.
a little time out in between. We get the fight. Norman helps out, and eventually, the arms don't want to be detached from Peter, and Peter has to basically tell them to detach them themselves. Norman and Osborn have a bit of a heart-to-heart about Kamala, and that is the end of the issue.
You mean Norman and Peter?
Norman and Peter. Did I say Norman and Otto? It's Norman.
Yes.
Peter Osborn and Norman Parker.
Yeah. Sorry. The Norman and Peter have
There's
a heart-to-heart
also
about Kamala. And that's
there's
the
also a very special guest who shows up for like 2 pages.
What did I miss?
Rek-Rap shows up.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
return of
My boy Rek-Rap, let's
The
go.
return of Rek-Rap occurs because only because Ed McGuinness wanted to draw him, and so here's Rek-Rap. He's apparently going to play a big Rek-Rap, a spider-related character, because we have too many spider-related characters. That's why we turned Ben Reilly heel, is because we have spider-related characters.
I mean,
and bring up another spider-related character.
Get it, get.
Be
Oh,
gone.
God, he's so good. I'm
Okay,
so
listen.
glad
Be
I'm so
gone.
glad he exists.
It is a good looking figure.
Listen,
It's a great.
all
looking
jokes aside,
It's a good looking figure.
I will buy both figures because I'm a Ben Reilly fan, even though this is against everything I hold dear when it comes to Ben Reilly.
To be fair, I did get away with putting
As a
Chasm. I did get away with putting Chasm in the 25-year thumbnail.
You did.
I did,
Still not happy about it, but you did.
but it's
Okay.
there, so
Can-
what can
can
you do?
Can we talk
Anyway.
about the comics? I
Yes.
I
All right.
will have to go pretty soon because Chris
Okay.
is coming.
All right.
I'm
So,
gonna have to make sure he stops in for a minute. So,
Paul, give us
yes,
your thoughts and your grade.
We're doing for the grade for both issues, right?
Yes.
Like just do
Basically,
one
yeah.
grade for one.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
grade for
Just
both.
do one grade.
Whatever you want to do.
After the last arc, which is very controversial, whatever, I thought it was fine. It was fine. It just was like, we talked a lot about decompression, and I think that we definitely highlighted, I think, the biggest problem, I think, if we're not trying to be over dramatic about it, was just the fact they took a very like shorter story and just stretched it out way too long. And I love JRJR's artwork, and I think that he's been definitely better now than he has in a long time. And maybe it's because he feels more comfortable with these Marvel characters. I don't know. But I've liked what he's done with Zeb Wells, but I've said in our group chat, and I don't think I've said this on Twitter yet or X, which is so weird.
I'm calling it Twitter. We're not calling it fucking X.
That's fair. The thing is, what I'm really surprised at, every time Ed McGuinness and Wells get together, I enjoy the comic more. I enjoy it a lot with JRJR, but for some reason, maybe I'm overthinking it, but it feels like the McGuinness stuff and Wells, they just gel really well together. I'm not sure if it's because they get along better, or if it's just,
to jump in on that, Wells has said that he tunes his writing style to fit his artists more, and McGuinness has a very energetic and cartoony art style, so it feels like there's a bit more energy and dynamo.
Dynamism.
Yeah, there's a lot more dynamics. I would say that it feels with the JRJR stuff, it's more decompressed in general.
Sure.
Like I think back to like the Hobgoblin stuff and some of the Vulture stuff that was in there.
Mhm.
Those are all solid. I like those issues, and I'm not trying to talk mess. I'm just being real. You could tell like it just feels more stretched out. Whereas the Ed McGuinness stuff, it's just really energetic, and the pacing's really well done. And it just feels like the opposite. It doesn't feel as
Mhm.
decompressed. It feels Baby Bear just right. It really does. It feels like a perfect 22-page comic book that I'm like, yeah, like I get this. I really enjoyed having Otto and Norman work together, or not work, but them working off each other. I'm 100% in on this Norman, like this whole Norman, is he a good guy? And the fact that Otto is trying to like basically tell him like, no, you are this person. You can't be good because, you know, he's got to prove that he's still better in some way, whether it be a good guy or a bad guy or whatever. And I liked the new arms from, like the new arms from Otto. That was really clever, interesting idea. Again, I don't know if that's been done before, but I think I haven't seen it anyway. And I thought it was really clever and just giving Otto his own different kind of style in this. You know, I always like it when artists can take their own interpretations of the characters. And I like this version of Otto with Ed McGuinness as far as the design wise. And just like I said, there's just a great energy to these pages, and there's a lot of fun too. Like I love the callbacks. They're cheap callbacks, but you can't beat this, man. Like this is a fantastic image.
That was
yeah. And like
that's a good one.
And I love the idea of these arms being pets for Jonah. Like these 3 issues, you know, 28, 29, and 30, it kind of reinforces that. And people will be like, well, blah, 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 whatever. You don't have to like Wells. It's fine. But to me, in my opinion, I think that it cements the fact that Wells is a good writer and for Spider-Man and can do it. And when he doesn't have like the drama around it, these are really damn good, solid issues. And I would say that this reminds me of being an old school Spider-Man fan, to be honest, because it felt very fun. It felt very condensed and very, compact enough to where you don't have to know much. You could go right into it and kind of just have fun reading it, right? And have lots of really cool, fun moments like Spider-Man in the arms. Like that's really great stuff. So for me, I'm going to give this an A-. You know, these 2 issues are really, really good. And yeah, they're not Watchmen. They're not like Neil Gaiman Sandman or anything, but these are some pretty damn fun Spider-Man comic books. And I think that people who want to talk mess are missing out on some really fun, energetic issues.
It's funny because the last time you were on the show, that was the same grade you gave.
Really?
Yes. The last time you were on the show, the last grade you gave was an A-. And so at least you're being consistent. So Adam, what is your grade for this particular set of issues?
I'd probably go B.
A- B, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too, yeah.
Yeah, B probably. Like, because I mean, it's not really offensive stuff. Like, I do feel like people are getting a little too worked up over some things. I mean, it's fairly solid stuff. Like, I thought the arms battle, you know, Spidey having the old arms, Doc Ock having his new arms, and then like the arms influence Peter's mind because they have to, you know, the spinal connection and the fact that he was connected to that before because of the superior thing. That, I mean, that's like fun, I guess, but I'm also kind of like,
Exactly.
I don't know if I need to have to. I don't know if I need like Spidey and Doc Ock to have adult off, you know, and a die is cast off necessarily. Like just yelling at each other the same thing.
Yeah, for those that were watching me on YouTube and listening, sorry, Chris Clow from Comic Bin showed up at Paul's house. So sorry.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, it's these issues. We said it already. Like it's a big bombastic fight with some, you know, incredible art. I mean, the thing about the art here is, I said this last episode, I think. I like Romita Jr. a lot. He's a favorite of mine. This new era that he's essentially more or less head artist on, it's good stuff. Sometimes I feel like there's a little something missing. but overall, he does great stuff. I really think the problem mostly is the coloring. I feel for some reason that Marcio Menez's coloring just doesn't always work for Ramita Jr.'s artwork, and I think that's what kind of does it for me. But like everything else is good. But the funny thing is though is that like,
I can see that McGinnis needs a really bright colors. If that makes sense.
And I feel like, well, the thing is, McGinnis, like, I think it's the same. I think it is Menez doing the coloring here, and for some reason, I think it's actually working better than on the Ramita Jr. stuff. I don't know why that is.
Who was the color?
It's a weird. There's this weird like inversion going on here. But maybe it's just the like exciting energy that McGinnis brings to it. But I don't know. It's like, and yeah, these issues they fly by, but they fly by in a fairly good way. Like things keep moving, and I think we talked about this. We talked about this like, oh, Wells like writes for his artists, and I think sometimes like there's a dreariness to the Ramita Jr. issues compared to when he's with McGinnis, because like whenever he's with McGinnis, we basically get Rek-Rap, and we just get like this like high energy, Spidey battle stuff, this kind of like classic Spidey action stuff. And I think
Rek-Rap next year's Build-A-Figure.
It's funnier. It's more fun to read. It's more exciting to read. The artwork just pops off the page. It's very energetic. It's exciting. Everyone looks great. Yeah. And Rek-Rap's just again a goofy idea that everyone's getting mad at for no reason. And he'll go away like after Wells's run. So
real fast. I'm
not
bow
staying.
Out my boys here. Yeah, he's not staying. But I gotta bow out. But I will talk to you guys about Saturday or Sunday. It's probably gonna be Sunday. I'm excited. Missy, I'm glad I got to jump on for a few minutes to talk about Spider-Man comics, because these are good, solid Spider-Man comics, in my opinion. So, Neil looks upset. You okay?
Neil's mic died. So,
oh no.
So that's why Neil's upset.
Okay. Neil, I be smooth, bro. Don't worry. You'll get it figured out. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, buddy. All right. So I'll give my thoughts while hopefully we might see Neil here in a minute. Okay. So my grade is a B+. This is incredibly solid. I enjoyed the artwork. I think this is McGinnis's best work so far. I like this artwork significantly better. I'm still not a huge fan of the way he draws Doc Ock. The Doc Ock design's just off for me, and I think it's the glasses for me.
I was thinking like this isn't 90s animated show Doc Ock. This is like spectacular Spider-Man Doc Ock. At least like vocally,
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Like this isn't Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. This is
Peter McNichol.
Peter McNichol.
Yeah, this is more the I am Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely there is a bombastic thing. Go to sleep, Javi. Good grief. It's because we're on until 11 o'clock. But like I say, I think the artwork's good. Here's my thing about Ramita's work on this run. It is the best that I've seen him do, because frankly, Klaus Janson and him just don't gel anymore. Scott Hanna, I think, has done an incredible job with the art, with Ramita's artwork here. And even like today's issue, Ramita's artwork I thought was really good. The main bulk of that story, I don't know who did like the part one. Was it Zay Carlos?
I think I saw he was on the credits for that. So yeah, probably.
So I think that I like the artwork throughout most of that book, but I thought the Ramita stuff was really good, and the same thing here. I think that with Wells not trying to reinvent the wheel so much as just write good, solid stuff with the classic Spidey characters, I'm down for. I'm okay with him doing the classic characters, as long as he's not trying to reimagine them like he did with the Lizard. But frankly, I thought that the artwork was good. I thought the pacing was fairly solid. Probably could have done this in 3. I'll be honest. I think you could have probably done this in 3 issues.
Probably. I feel like, you know, 3 probably is the sweet spot because 6 is too long. And then if you do 3, you get classic beginning, middle, end. 1, 2, 3, and then you fit 2 arcs in a trade. It feels like you kind of get your money worth there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am intrigued. It's weird how they're setting up Superior, and it's not really done here so much. But it's such a bold thing. Neil, you may have to come off. You may have to like completely leave the studio and then come back in, because that's what I've had to do in the past when I've had stuff not working. So if you hear me, you may have to leave the studio. So, like I say, I think this is really solid work. Also, by the way, if you're going online and buying those side plates, I just looked it up. How much they're selling on eBay? $188. These are $65 side plates, guys. Don't feed the scalpers, for F's sake. I already dropped an F-bomb like 3 minutes, like not even a minute into the episode. So, you know, we know that this is going to be explicit. But like, don't do that to yourself, for God's sake. $185, freaking 170. What you freaking? I don't feed the scalpers, man. I hate people. I am a capitalist, but don't feed scalpers. Scalping is an entirely different thing. Anyway, so look, I understand what Joey's saying in the comments. He says, I think for JR, his best work, at least in the modern era, was JMS era. Not so much today. His absolute best work was in the early 80s, in his opinion. I like it. I prefer his 90s stuff personally. I like his 80s stuff, but I like his 90s stuff more because
his style. His style really started to come into its own probably like as he was like midway through the Stern run, and then it kind of carried over into X-Men and then into, you know, Daredevil and the, you know, X-Men and Daredevil and then 90s Spidey. Like that's like kind of his his style. It's truly his style. The problem with the 80s stuff,
it was trying too hard to be his dad.
Well, I think that's because of the inkers. I think the inkers were kind of like inking as if,
like, you know, stuff like that.
Well, because it was Jim Mooney, and it was like, I think it was like Dan Green or something. But like there were a couple. He had a bunch of inkers on his ASM run with O'Neill and then Stern, and like it's really near the kind of the end of the Stern run. Oh yeah, his dad inked him in the Hobgoblin intro issue, but like it's like near the last probably like year or something of the Stern run when like I think it's Klaus Janson inking him, and that's when really his style is more recognizable as to what it would become later on in the 80s and in his 90s Spidey stuff.
So yeah, like I say to everybody, I think that this is good. Really, I mean, the artists on this run, I'm not having any problems.
Yeah, I mean the art's good. That's like I think it's more consistent than it was starting to get in Spencer's run, where like, you know.
But I also think that was the chaos behind the scenes.
Well, exactly, but they like now it's like, oh, there's a steady like. There's not as much chaos. There's chaos like in the fandom because of what they're trying to do, but like they actually have like a fairly steady art team this time.
Well, and look, we talked with Vincentini because he's the one that did the Morbius book, and I'm going to release that as an audio episode. I think just as an audio special because me and Chris did that. Chris Dedman from the Sabisema Era podcast via Radio of Horror because we were covering his Morbius stuff. But I did get to ask a couple ASM questions, and I learned in that bit, that 20-minute, 30-minute interview we did, that he didn't deal with Spencer at all. He was dealing exclusively with Nick Lowe. So don't want to feed conspiracy theories. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I'm saying is I think that there was so much chaos going on behind the scenes that there was a lot of, as soon as like pages were coming in, there was no collaboration between the artist and the writer. That's all I'm saying. It was all being done via the editor, which is a little different, I think, because like we talked with Erica Schultz, the writer of Hallows Eve. So if you have not subscribed to the audio edition of the show, it's in the audio edition feed because it was a special between us and Sabi Sema, where she talked about her relationship with the artist of the Hallows Eve book and like how they were going back and forth and talking back and forth and doing a little bit more collaborative stuff. So it just kind of gives you that little bit of sense where I feel like there's a lot more collaborative stuff going on with McGinnis and Ramita here in this run. That's a positive. Sure. That is a massive positive for the consumers when there's that collaboration. I wish that Paul was here for that and Neil too. But yeah, so look, I understand that there are a lot of people who are upset with the writing. I think that because like even the like I want to say the MJ stuff was not good today. Sorry,
I think
that's a preview for next episode. But
yeah,
I just
the problem is the run didn't start. I don't think the mystery hook wasn't a good hook to start. And you could have done you could have done all this stuff, that we're getting right now that we got before. You know, with the Oscorp, all this Oscorp stuff, and the Vulture and the Hobgoblin, and you know. All of that, like that, all that could have been the run. You didn't have to like start it with the whole "what did Peter do" thing.
Agreed. Oh, you know,
you could have jumped off of Beyond into this, and you
could have literally looked on that last page of Beyond with MJ and Peter.
Yeah,
and you could have started the story of hey, you know, and done if you'd done the whole, you know, what we ended up getting a year later without necessarily the Kamala Khan death. Because the Kamala Khan death was almost ancillary, but you could have done the first 3 or 4 issues of the what did Peter actually do, and then we hit the ground running because it just ground everything to a halt. So I feel like it dragged the book down. Yeah, it did,
and it caused just chaos in the fandom, and it's like
look, Spider-Man fandom right now is fractured anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you got people bitching right now about the apparently there was like some minor tweaks that were made into the digital release of Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, well I kind of get that because they took some of the style away from it. One of the things I heard about, and that's kind of weak, I think.
I agree, but and look. Maybe we'll do a review of Across the Spider-Verse when it hits on Blu-ray, because on the movies I try to get the Spider-Man physical media. Like that is I haven't gotten the Venom movies. But when it comes to Spider-Man, they got Spider-Man on them. I try to get the physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, because his mic died, which fuck, that sucks. He was talking about getting a new one too. And the internet gods said, "Nay, you shall get a new one." He says, "Didn't leave my grade, but it's a C+. McGinnis carries this one hard." So, Neil, feel free to throw in a few more comments if you like. We'll go around the horn. Javi already went to bed, but he talks about Chris. He thought Chris was the Reverend, but look at Paul preach. Duke the Legend didn't know there was a live stream tonight. Well, let's just say that the live stream didn't go to plan as to when we went live. But I really am thankful for guys like Venkman for being here. Justin Shields, Eric Porter, Tevia, thank you for being here. Matt Bird, of course, and Andrew. So, but yeah, things are going okay. To kind of bring it back around, I am in the middle of moving. The big stuff. So I got everything out of the old place. Now it's just I got to clear out I got a washer and dryer that don't fit. So I've got to sell those and get rid of those. So once I get rid of those, then I'll have a little bit more room to put like my collectibles in that corner. So kind of I've got everything in that corner that once I get that cleared, then I can kind of start moving other stuff. So all that being said, just properly plan when you move. Big shout out to Neil and Cody, by the way. Thank you guys. Cody is a listener to the show, also a longtime Crawl Space listener. But Neil, also, I want to publicly acknowledge him and say thank you to him because he came over for a few hours and helped me move. So I think the Blu-ray drops. Joey asks, when does the Blu-ray drop for Across the Spider-Verse? I think it drops in like 3 weeks, I want to say. I think there's usually a month between the digital release and then the physical media drop. So, and hang on, I'll double check. We'll do it live as Bill O'Reilly once said, right?
Yeah.
I thought I had it. There it is.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. All right.
All right. Sorry, Bill. I'm cutting you off. All right. So let's see. What was I? I'm so focused on finding Bill. What am I looking for, Adam?
The Blu-ray release date for
Across the
Spider-Verse.
Blu-ray release date. Thank you. Autofill on Google. Looks like September 5th. So
damn, yeah, that's like a month.
It is a month away. So it was not a month between. It's a 6-week thing, I think, because the digital release came out last week. So pre-order, you can pre-order on Amazon. There's going to be a 4K Steelbox version that weirdly has the freaking Scarlet Spider from the PS4.
Oh yeah, we talked about that privately. It was like, wait a minute,
that's not one of these things. Is not like the other. So you got the Blu-ray. There's also a bundle. There's a Target exclusive version with 6 collectible character cards. So also apparently womp womp. There's a lot of peg warming with Jessica Drew from Across the Spider-Verse. So that's unfortunate. There's a $500 what is this? Okay, hang on. A 1-click box set that has. Hang on. What is this? I got derailed. I'm sorry. So apparently, like, it's a box set with like 4 different covers for the same movie. But why? I know what it is. Okay, it's like you got your 4K, your 3D Blu-ray, your Blu-ray, and your DVD, and they come in like a box. I ain't paying $500 for the same movie 4 times. I'm sorry. That's no, don't do that. So, well, we're about to hit like the proverbial wall in terms of content pretty soon, because like the well is starting to run dry. Because we're at the point with the SAG stuff that it's people are starting to have to sell their houses and stuff like that. So that's not good. Variant covers for a movie, I guess, Joey. I'll link some of this stuff down in the description after in the post. If you're listening to the audio edition, I'll throw this in there. I'll make some notes. So if you want to click the links, I will insert the links in the news story section of the program. So Adam, I don't feel like we're going to get Neil back for the rest of the night because I think he's probably upset, which rightfully so.
Yeah.
Final thoughts for us, Neil. Or Adam. Son of a...
Who am I? Yeah, I mean,
acting like Ben Reilly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The two issues, they're all right. Like, it's solid stuff. You know, I don't know. The art. I mean, I kind of agree about the art's just like The art's very good, refreshing, exciting.
This is
Hops off the page.
Yeah, this is
You
one
can
of the,
tell. You can tell that he's having fun because there's like little. I'm looking at there's this little panel where like one of Doc Ock's, little octoid things, like they make up his new arms, and like they're saving him, and they're carrying him away, and one of them just like shakes its little tentacle at Norman or Peter, both of them, whatever. It's just he's having fun. Yeah, and it's fun actually. Yeah, I want to put this out. It's these two issues kind of remind me, because Norman was captured. It reminded me of when Norman captures Peter way back.
It does
when he unmasks, and it's the whole because he's showing him the thing, like Otto's showing him the stuff, like, oh, this is what happened during Superior Spider-Man, the Goblin Nation stuff, and it's very reminiscent of that first Ramita story. So say what you will about Wells, he's read stuff. Like he knows some of the history.
I have no doubt. I just think that there was a bit of self sabotage with the structure of his storytelling, and that's what. Look, we've got this arc with Gabi Mommy, as Neil would say, gonna be a big component, a big role here. We get a bit of a tease in today's issue. There's a lot of teases in today's issue of like what's happening for the rest of the year. So being said, we're gonna have this arc, and then we're gonna have the start of the gang war that's gonna carry us almost all the way through February of next year. Yay! Cool.
With a ton of tie-ins that I'm not gonna read.
Man, I might do like a stream by myself, being like, I
mean, I don't know. Are they really going to be that? Like, is the Luke Cage one really going to be that important?
I don't know.
I mean, no disrespect to Luke Cage. I'm just saying.
Well, again, like
there's a Luke Cage one and a.
Dude, I didn't even know
Spider-Woman one. And
yeah, the Spider-Woman one that was one of the teases where we got Jessica freaking like on a quest for vengeance now for trying to find her baby, and it's somehow going to tie in a gang war. A lot of the main story with the wedding and the chaos of the wedding bleeds into the gang war. So
Sure.
that's a big thing. And I'm good with street level Spidey. This is what this is what I'm going to be here for with this Wells run. I'm hoping that we're going to get more of that street level stuff and more closer to the ground and less cosmic mystical bullshit left behind. I'm so sick of it.
I just think we need a break from that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of that. Well, since Slott left, I guess, but I guess Spider-Verse was kind of that too.
Spider-Verse was that way. I mean, you got Spider-Verse, you got the Other, you got Spider-Geddon, you've got. Yeah. It's been such an infection that has just seeped and went well past its sell-by date.
I think we just gotta.
We need a break. We just
roll it
need,
back.
And even even the Kindred stuff.
Well, no, yeah, that's what
really
I'm saying.
Into that shit too.
We got Spider-Verse, and we got Kindred, and we got this whole Wyeb thing with Rabin, that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think we need a break from this sort of cosmic world-ending stuff. Yeah, Kindred wasn't really that, but Kindred also had like these mystical elements that were hinting at one thing and ended up being another thing. And
and at least he tried to make it personal with Kindred.
Yeah.
Whereas
there was definitely a personal kind of thing.
The personal vendetta was what was driving it. It wasn't necessarily just the fact that Peter Parker is a totem of a spider.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's what far too often that's what we've seen outside of Spencer's run. And even we saw it here. Peter was kind of, the passenger in the story, right? Rabin and Y-Web or whatever were the kind of driving forces. So just I'm hoping that we're getting a bit more back to basics with the keeping Peter on the freaking ground. I like you. I'm ready. I'm just ready.
It feels like it just feels like for the past like decade, there's been that presence.
Yes.
And it's become a little too familiar. And so now I think it's time that maybe we take a bit of a break. So that at least like when you do it in the future, it becomes more interesting, exciting. It becomes different because right now it's becoming like, oh, he's, it's the same. And now it's becoming the same old thing. Now all of a sudden, oh, he's got these cosmic threats that he's fighting every like few years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, Tevye is tired of the train wreck of a Spider-Man comic. All right. Well, on that note, let's
it's an awful note.
Awful note to leave on. Damn it, Tevye. If anybody wants to leave any final parting shots, final parting thoughts before we get out of here, we will kind of briefly go. Kind of give everybody a programming update. We're going to make my Mayday Spider-Verse Part 2 with me and Kelly covering the second half of Spider-Verse. Going to be on Friday. Saturday, I will be up on the Spider-Man Crawl Space call-in show, I think, for a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be on I don't know if Brad's going to hold me to the end or if he's going to bring me on in the beginning. I don't know yet. And then, of course, we'll have the first of the slot discussions. Is that what we came up with a name?
The Slot Symposium.
Slot Symposium. That's right. It's going to be called the Slot Symposium. It'll be kind of unofficial second episode of each month. We're going to have 2 episodes this month just because of the way everything fell. But this is kind of able to give us that second episode each month where, because we're trying to cover 2 issues per episode here on SDE. So kind of gives us that second, a little bit more content for you guys. And then, so Patreon subscribers, if you have not subscribed over to Patreon, be sure because there's going to be a new episode dropping of Voices. And apparently there is a full-blown roasting of Steven Seagal and Under Siege 2. I don't know what the full context is, but if you want to hear like somebody absolutely eviscerate Steven Seagal, apparently it's all in there. So night, everyone. I hope this someday gets better, but he doubts it at this point. I'm going to stick across the Spider-Verse, which comes out on Blu-ray, so yay for him. All right, Radiac, I'm with you, Adam. Adam. It would have been better to kickstart like this, but it's still feeling the lingering treatment of MJ and Peter is just not it. And this will be for the next show, but the whole relationship with Felice has been yep. So next time, we're going to be covering the entire part of at 925 and 926, the whole $9 enchilada in the next episode. So stay tuned for that, or technically, I guess the next episode is the first slot symposium. But then after that, the next review episode is going to be covering 925, 926. So, all right, without further ado, thanks for watching. If you're watching us live here on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening to us on the audio edition, thank you as well. But be sure to leave us that 5-star review on your favorite podcasting apps. Let us know how we're doing. Of course, you can find us over on @Spideydude Radio on Twitter. You can find us Spideydude Network on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Of course, if you are not subscribed to us on the YouTube channel, give us that subscribe over on Spideydude Radio Network, youtube.com/Spideydude Radio Network. And of course, if you want your voice to be on the show, you can do it a couple different ways. You can leave us an email at Clone. I almost said Clone Saga Chronicles at gmail.com. Womp womp. Email address is Spideydude Radio Network at gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 818-925-6631. Of course, we've got to thank our patrons once again before we get out of here. Got our Patreon subscribers over on patreon.com/Spideydude Network. We got Allison, Cindy, Ed, Georgia, Greg, Janelle, Jessica, Catherine, Kale, Gigar, Laura Howard, Master Drammond, Scott, Vanessa, Vicky, and our VIPs. Those are our sensational tier patrons. Those are $5 and up patrons. And then our $25 and up VIPs. We got Scott, other Scott, Sebastian, Vinkman, and Winnipeg Webhead. Thank you guys for your support. And of course, if you're listening to the audio edition, we want to give a shout out to our friendly neighborhood friends here. All right. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching. And we'll see you next time here on the Spideydude Experience part of the Spideydude Radio Network.